clashes between factions in the ongoing elections there. William Evans Inkum brought us this report.
Here in the Subin constituency, some 950 delegates are voting to elect constituency executives, but this exercise hasn't been without intermittent chaos. So we spoke to the aspirants who almost had a fisticuff with the Member of Parliament, Eugene Boache Entry, and this is what Emmanuel Bafwewia had to say as his defense.
Police invited the aspirants to explain some things to us. So I told the police that I don't have the album. As we speak, I don't have the album. I'm contesting for the chairmanship. I don't have the album. So they should insist that I have the album from the elections committee. Then the Member of Parliament directed the police that they should arrest me. That's what generated that issue.
One thing is that there appears to be some level of spontaneous exercise across the Ashanti region. William Evans Inkum, TV3 News, Amankwetia, Subin constituency, Kumasi.
Back here in Accra, reports indicate that the Okankwe South area, the NPP constituency election scheduled for today has been injuncted. Some 4,000 names of delegates, we understand, have been allegedly removed from the constituency voter album. According to some polling station executives, they allege they may have been promised, or they have been promised they will keep their jobs as station executives, and that no elections were held in the constituency during the polling station exercise. My colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe is there. He's joining us. Thank you, Joseph Armstrong Gold. What is the situation from where you are?
Currently at Okankwe South, election is still ongoing. At least over 100 people have voted so far out of the 1,002 people who are supposed to cast their ballot here. Earlier, there was a little bit of confusion because people did not find their names in the voters register, and that's what brought some kind of confusion here. But the police, with the aid of some other security officers, have managed to bring calm to the place. Some 4 people too have been arrested so far for allegedly omitting the names of those 400 people out from the ballot paper. I speak to you right now. Calm has been restored. The election is ongoing, and we are just hoping that the police will continue to do what they are doing best to prevent any attack. Again, earlier we've seen that about FPU vans have also been brought here to at least ensure that people comply with the rules and regulations that have been laid here. Come now.
And have you got any word from constituency executives, for example, as to why all of these agitations have been ongoing about missing names from the album? What have they been saying?
So what we are gathering right now is that the names that the people claim, those who claim their names have been taken out from the album, they say they are not supposed to be delegated. Hence, that's what has led to what is happening right now. The people also insist that they are delegates and their names are supposed to be in there. So we are still trying to find the executives who are nowhere to be found at the moment to give us more details as to what's going to happen to these 400 people who claim their names are not in the register, and ask whether they are going to be allowed to vote or not.
Okay, thank you. Joseph Armstrong Godalogbe from the Okankwe South area there speaking to us. Let's cross over to the northern region. Christopher Marco has been monitoring the elections there. Thank you, Christopher, for joining us. What can you report from where you are? I'm afraid we do not have Christopher Amwako on the line. We'll be getting through to him to understand what the process is like. But we also know ahead of today, the Yendi area, there had been a lot of disagreements on the exercise in that part of the country. In fact, in the last few hours, we're learning that the process has been injuncted or rescheduled, according to a statement by the General Secretary of the NPP, John Bwedu. From there, in the Volta region, some 36 aggrieved disqualified aspirants have petitioned the national executives of the party to intervene in the disqualification of the aspirants who allege they do not know the specific reasons for their disqualification. Now, they want to be given the opportunity to contest. The region is set to hold its constituency elections. That's today. We understand that process is beginning in some parts of the region. Frederick Kobi Tete is spokesperson for some of the disqualified aspirants. He will be joining us shortly for us to understand exactly, what the process has been so far with respect to their disqualification. Thank you, Fred, for joining us. What is the state of your petition to the regional executives for intervention so your people can vote? Hello, Frederick.
Yes, hello.
Have your people been able to vote? Have they been allowed to participate in the exercise yet?
Well, good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Sadly, no, because according to the party constitution, that is Article 5, Article 4, Clause 5, no, we're supposed to go for an appeal. And we did that from Monday 25th. 25th, but up to date, there's no response. But we only heard that the party will be conducting the election on the Monday. So we don't know, because they give the team assurance that they are going to solve the problem. But after this, we didn't hear anything from them.
So how do your people feel about this, those who have been disqualified?
Yes, the issue is some of the constituencies head to court. As I'm talking to you today, some of them are the new High Court and Togakopa High Court, so that the court can put injunction on those constituencies. Because we are not talking about only constituency aspirants. As I'm talking to you, the coordinator is supposed to be elected by police station executives. But I'm talking to the entire voter region. There is no election of that sort. They only came and picked the coordinator. So that is the worry. So the petition has been at the court since the last 3 weeks, not today. Before this constituency one also came in, that they disqualified the people without any report. Any report, that's Article 3, Clause, I think Clause 5 of the, Clause 3, Article 3, Clause 3 of the NPP Constitution demands that the right of the party member. So they're supposed to explain to them, these are the reasons why they disqualify them. But as of today, there is no reason. And those people, they have the qualification, they have the merit, they have the competence to go for any constituency or regional election. So we don't know the reason why these people are disqualified.
So what's the way forward for them then? Yeah,
now we are discussing either to head to court, or since they are also using two alternatives, if you go to court, they will block your chance. If you go to next, they will block your chance. So if it's not taking, there will be no election at voter region, because everybody is angry. Every youth, even party followers, the grassroots, everybody is not happy about the decision from the regional chairman and his government.
Thank you, Frederick, for joining us. He is spokesperson for some of the aggrieved aspirants who have been disqualified from participating in the exercise in the Volta region. Let's head back to the northern region. Hopefully, Christopher can hear me. Christopher, what can you report from where you are?
I'm in the Yendi constituency, where this morning the elections has been suspended by the National Executive Committee. Earlier, before coming to the Yendi constituency, I passed through the Mion constituency, where elections are underway as we speak. Here in the Yendi constituency, as we all know, that the election has been suspended, but the delegates are all inside this hall where they were supposed to meet and vote. So as it stands now, party executives are engaging the delegates to calm them down because of the suspension of the election. But they are saying that, look, what the National Executive Committee did, what the party is doing to us in Yendi is very bad, and we are going to make sure that we let them understand that we are not happy with what they are doing. Some are threatening that they are going to leave the party. Others are saying that they will ensure that the party loses the 2024 election in the Yendi constituency, because Yendi is the heart of the northern region constituency. So they are very peeved and unhappy about the current developments.
You've been interacting with some individuals. What have they been telling you?
Yes, so exactly they are saying that they are disappointed in the party hierarchy, especially the National Executive Committee for what they did for suspending the election. In fact, they had prepared this place. In the background here is I have the party elections committee member, one of them here, who you are a member of the election committee.
Yes.
This morning, your election is suspended.
Yes.
How will you react to this?
Well, it's very unfortunate that it has been suspended because plans were far advanced in organizing the program, only to be told that our program has been suspended.
So how do you feel?
Not happy at all, because we're gearing up ourselves to get our executive for the 2024. So if at a sudden information that you are not going to have executive after tomorrow, then it is a blow to the party in the constituency.
Is it to mean that as executive, as election committee members, you did not do your work well?
No, we did a very good job. We did a very good job. The only thing is that if a lot of people want to serve the party, you cannot make everybody a polling station executive. So what the committee did was to the best of our ability.
Okay, so come now, you heard him that he's disappointed in the National Executive Committee for suspending the elections in the Yendi constituency.
We can now listen to some of the aspirants you spoke to and some members at the event.
Vying for the position of Nasser coordinator, I'm highly disappointed in the president of the land. Highly disappointed in the party structures and the party rules. If they can put up rules and then not implement it, because an aspirant, a failed parliamentary aspirant, wants to have the election done her way, I'm highly disappointed in the president.
But I wanted to tell the party people, if Alhaji Farouk is not come Yendi, NPP party will never win election Yendi.
Course of a day to find out the processes in the other parts of a region with respect to the exercise to elect constituency executives of the NPP. Christopher Makoe is our correspondent in the Northern and Savannah regions. Joining me in studio is our news planning and research head in the newsroom. So tell us, Dennis, we know there have been a number of constituencies that have had issues, a lot of controversies, even in the lead up to this day. Run us through a few of them.
Yes, so today is supposed to be the beginning of the election throughout the country in 275 constituencies across the country, like I mentioned. So, for instance, in the Ashanti region, you would find that there are some of the constituencies that have had the election injuncted. In some instances, voting is ongoing, and in some instances, to some constituencies, the elections have been suspended for reasons the party explained, either due to unresolved issues or that there still are impending issues regarding the polling station elections, which ended not too long ago. So when you look at the Ashanti region, for instance, the elections at Kwadasu constituency and Subing constituency have been injuncted. Despite the injunction, however, the election is still ongoing at Kwadasu. You spoke to Evans a while ago. And Subing. He mentioned that there's been some sort of violence in some people not agreeing to what's ongoing there. But it's on record that the election has been injuncted, and despite that, the voting is still ongoing. So constituencies that are having the election ongoing are the Asante Achim South and Central constituencies, Manshia South, then Subing, like we mentioned, even though it's been injuncted, Offensive South and North. So these we know for a fact that voting is ongoing in these constituencies. When we look at the situation in the Central region, for instance, a region that has 23 constituencies, 21 of them are scheduled to have their elections from today to up till 3rd May, where the timetable is given for them. However, 2 of the constituencies have been injuncted. Not injuncted, they've been suspended actually. Okay. We know for a fact that the election at Asim North has been suspended for obvious reasons. That there's an election petition, they are contesting the election of the Asim North MP, Mr. Kwesi. So that is the reason for which that particular election is being suspended. There's also another one in that constituency. Let's look at what's happening in the Northern region, even though Christopher has spoken at length about it. What Christopher is telling us is that in some instances too, there've also been injunctions on some of the constituencies, and in some instances too, there have been what they term as internal issues that need to be resolved regarding the voters register, or what they call the polling station album.
And I'm curious about the Greater Accra region as well.
Yes, so when you come to Greater Accra region, we know that the party itself has identified some hotspots.
Dom
Kwabinya is one of them.
And then also.
And then Ododio. Two of them, they say they will not mention because they don't want the constituents themselves to know that those places have been labeled as hotspots.
Okay.
And those have been two other constituencies where they say the election has been suspended because there are some unresolved matters. One of them is the Ningu Pram constituency.
I'll have you hold on briefly for me. Joining me is Director of Elections of the NPP, Gary Evans Nimakwa, I beg your pardon. Thank you for joining us. So you've had a number of, issues with respect to the elections in some constituencies. Subing, for example, where it's been injuncted, but we have the process still ongoing. Here in the Greater Accra region, the Okankwe area, specifically, people complaining about missing names in the album. What does the party believe would have been a perfect solution to some of these issues?
Well, Mr. Thank you for having me. But there was some disturbing background noise. But if I heard you talking about some of the places that have some challenges. For now, the chairpersons of the committee are on the ground, working with the Electoral Commission to ensure that the party conducts a very successful constituency delegate conference that is electing also our constituency office. But Mr. Adam, why is it that your request will give you account of where there have been a lot of suspects in terms of the conduct of our conferences? Sometimes you tend to give so much of premium to few of these areas that may have little challenges.
Mr. Nimako, you cannot say that these are few areas. There are quite a number of constituencies, and your own members are concerned. Your delegates in the Okankwe South area, almost 400 of them have been complaining that their names have been expunged from the album. In the Subin constituency, similar issues. So you cannot say that we're focusing on a few issues, Mr. Nimako.
So, Mr. Adam, please, you are told at the moment that as many as 2 people have had their names deleted from our register. Will you take that to be the truth? I'm saying no. I'm saying that sometimes before we go on air, let's balance the issue so that we are able to present as it is. People may raise concerns. Albums were created at the constituency level. Copies are with them. Copies are with the regional party. So if today, election day, some individuals decide to say our names have been taken out, it's very concerning, but it can never be the truth. Because these are albums that capture polling station executives, electoral area coordinators. They were transported to NPP database, copy of which have been printed and given to the EC. I don't think your reporter will be able to count as many as 400 people who have been taken out. Nobody will do that. It doesn't serve anybody's interest. The party will not be interested in anything of this sort.
Okay.
They are conducting elections from today, 28th to 2nd of May. So constituencies elections committee have the liberty to choose which of the days they want to conduct the conference and elect officers. So please, I'm only pleading with you. There may be 1 or 2 places. That's why while the National Council gave the directive, some constituencies were exempted for obvious reasons, may not be known to you. But for those who were cleared, and people one or the other have had challenges and going to court and not resorting to internal mechanisms, some even have decided to discontinue. And so when that has happened, the party takes its time to look into the issues and give amicable resolution to both parties. That is what we seek to do. So I can assure you that in almost the 275 constituencies, it is only about 25 that for now their issues have not been resolved. So for those who have not had their issue resolved, I'm not going to go ahead. But those who have, they have up to today to the 2nd of next month to conduct their conferences. I'll also continue to plead with all those who felt aggrieved one or the other to appear before the ADR committee chaired by Madam Abnadaba and get their issues resolved.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be returning to you, Mr. Evans Nimako, because this is an issue we've been following even in the build-up to this point. I remember in the Kwadaso area, some of the delegates has raised issues that their names had not been found. In fact, they were not even allowed in the first place to submit their forms. And so you cannot say that they are turning up today to raise issues, but we'll come back to you subsequently for responses as the day wears on. Thank you. Evans Nimako is the Director of Elections of the NPP speaking to us. Trust that we'll be doing a nationwide check on the exercise and we'll bring you updates as they become available.